Well, we're having more and more distractions. Before the stupid C started 2 years ago, we already had enough of them. And then that happened, and the distractions were almost overwhelming. And besides just having to survive and take care of everyday life, they've put that stuff on us. And now, of course, it's a new one. It's the war. And notice how they choose for you which war you will be paying attention to. Pay attention to this one. Don't pay attention to all the other countries that are being bombed. Just this one. This one matters. And the rhetoric, even by talk radio, the conservative bunch, at least the well-known ones, goes right along with the rest of them. They're not that different. They just they spew the same stuff, and everybody's vilifying and demonizing a certain group of people, and especially one certain person. And I hope we're careful in what we believe. They demonized many other people, especially here during the stupid C thing, and certain group of people, certain individual people who didn't agree with their story. So be careful what you believe from this Ukraine thing. I personally don't believe anything anymore. There have already been photos out and clips out that were used in other wars. So they tell you what they want you to know, the direction they're pushing you in. Just recognize that and know that it's not true. It's just not true. In the end, all the distractions here before stupid C and since then are pretty much all designed to keep you away from yourself. And the latest, of course, the Ukraine thing now is time that, there are a lot of things they're accomplishing with this, but the timing of it, of course, is designed to get people to forget what's been done to them in the last 2 years. You hardly hear anything about that anymore. So, as far as I can tell, our job, I don't know if it's our job, our sanity depends on not giving a lot of weight to this stuff. You need to survive, but stop looking at it. Stop looking at it. Stop being emotionally involved with it. The most important thing that I think we can do is just to find out who you really are, what you're doing here, where how you got here. It's always a trip. And what you're going to do when you get out. That to me, is of prime importance. And if you have children, then teach them what you think is true, and what makes sense. Just make sure that what you believe makes sense, which is hard to do. It's hard to if it doesn't, well, we have an inner compass. I would say we have an inner compass, and I think as far as common sense and something that makes sense is fairly easy. If you ignore your conditioning and what you've been told and just ask real questions, it's pretty easy to figure out what's true and what isn't. You may not be able to figure out what's really happening, but it doesn't really matter. In the big picture, what does it matter what's being done in the back rooms and who did what to who, and how we got here, and it just doesn't matter. The Illuminatis and the mud floods and the this and the that, and just if you look at it long enough, that it's all a lie. All of it. A little bit of truth here and there, but it's mostly just a lie. So what else do you need to know? How much more do we need to dig? It's kind of interesting sometimes, and sometimes kind of fun to catch them in their lies. I don't know. I'm not sure that some of what we actually quote quote find out, that it wasn't put there on purpose, so that we think, we caught them. But it doesn't change anything. They just keep doing what they're doing because most of humanity is on board. And that's why they get away with what they get away with. And look at what does any kind of protest do? Nothing. I mean, the Freedom Convoy right now, nobody's even reporting on it. Hardly reporting on it. And they started this convoy when they were already lifting the so-called restrictions. So what has it done? Like nothing. What it might do in the end is really disrupt food distribution, so that they can say, well, this is all your fault. You did that. You did it to yourselves. But we can take over now, and we can save you from yourselves. So again, I think to me, we keep watching and looking at what they present to us. Look at this, look at that. Pay attention. Feel bad about it. Feel bad for them. Do something about it. Send money to the orphans over there. And if you recall, and the rhetoric from the talk radio is like, oh, that horrible person invaded a sovereign country. This country invaded a sovereign country and has been invading sovereign countries. But especially the country that they invaded, I can't even say we. I don't believe in the word we. We did this, we did that. I didn't do diddly. But they invaded Afghanistan after that thing that happened in New York in 9/11. Ooh, I didn't want to say that. Oh well. And they went into a sovereign country, killed many children and civilians, and stayed there for years. And if you remember, there were no weapons of what ever found. Although there are people in this country who think that they're still there, they just haven't found them yet. So the thing that also irritates me is when they say we went in there, we did this, we did that. No. I didn't do diddly. I'm just trying to live my life. Don't get caught up in the we rhetoric. Sovereignty is not about we. Too much we going on. So I think the number one thing for humanity to understand is that none of this is your fault. And stop feeling guilty about stuff. And, you know, a group of people who are really, really good at making us feel guilty, of course, are religions. Religion loves to make you feel guilty, and is very good at it. And then, of course, it's the climate thing. The climate thing, you know, it's all our fault. All our fault. Everything is our fault. So, you know that nothing is your fault. You're born into this place with no memory of anything, no knowledge of anything, and you're taught by people who were also lied to. You know, generation to generation, they've been lied to. We've all been lied to. And so from one generation to the next, we indoctrinate each other. So, and it's very, very difficult to drop the indoctrination. It really is. And the emotional stuff that goes along with it. Very difficult. But that's something we can all work on instead of watching the screens, you know, and absorbing what they want you to absorb. You're absorbing what they want you to absorb. You know, just get ready for what you know is coming, possibly, probably. Get ready best you can, you know. Store up some food. Stop spending money. Get rid of your debts best you can. You know, go bankrupt while you still can, so you don't have to pay all those bills you accumulated. You know, get ready best you can by, you know, I would say food and water is the most important part. And then sit back and watch the show and try not to be involved. You know, why would you want to be involved? Take care of yourself and those close to you, and especially go inward and figure out what you truly are. You're not your body. You know, the bodies are not going to survive. So what are you really? What are you truly? And the answers are inside. I mean, it's good to share, and it's good to take counsel from people like who've been around or who know things because they've been around longer and they've been looking for truth, and you know that's a good thing. But in the end, you're responsible for your own consciousness, for your own being, for your own you know, mind. And there's lots of information out there. You know, the internet is still there. I don't think they're ever going to take it down, but they'll probably scrub it of anything that's meaningful. So, you know, get busy with yourself. Get busy. It's high time. You know, it's high time. So, please take care. And you know, work on this feeling bad and feeling sorry and you know, just keep looking at all this stuff that you're presented with. Why would you want to? And you cannot save the world. There are people who have tried. You can't save the world. You know, the world has to figure, you know, everybody has to figure this out on their own. You know, this life is actually sort of a lonely thing. I mean, it's you die alone. You die by yourself. You might have people around who care about you, but the trip you do yourself. And I think it matters that we figure out what the heck we're going to do when we get out of here. And what we're going to do then, the same thing we do now. Independence, sovereignty, truth. You can do that now. And if you're someone who really picks up on other people's vibes and other people's pain and other people's misery, be careful with that. There's no reason that you have to be miserable for others. Learn to shield yourself from that, because it makes you miserable and sick. You pick up on all the sadness or somebody else's pain or even physical pain. Just, practice ways of shielding yourself from that. It doesn't mean you don't care. You can care, but you don't have to live there. You don't have to absorb it like, absorbing it through your pores just about. I mean, there are people that are that in tune with everything around them that they absorb every nasty thing that's out there. And then it affects you. It affects your health. It affects your physical health, your mental health. Just first of all, know that you're doing it and know how you do it. Just really tune in and know how you do it. And then just say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Go away. You can talk to yourself. So take care, everybody. I'm sorry, I have to turn. Pay attention to you. You and yours. That's what matters. Take care. Thank you for listening. Bye.